Hey everybody, today is Tuesday, November the 9th, and we're still working on multiplication in groups. And our learning objective is the same as yesterday. We are learning to represent multiplication with equal groups. The key word there is equal. And we're learning it so that we can quickly find the total number when our groups are equal. So we're multiplication in equal groups. Our learning objective again is we are learning to represent multiplication with equal groups. We're trying to find out the total number when the groups are equal. There's an equal amount of objects in each group. So let's go ahead and look at our first problem. I want you to look at the picture and I want you to pause the video so that you can kind of get an idea of what you're seeing there before we move forward. So go ahead and pause your video and look at the picture and tell me what you see. So we're looking for, when we're thinking about multiplication and we're thinking about equal groups, we're looking at how many groups that we have, and that's based on the whole thing that we see here. So this would be one group, two groups, three groups, four groups. So if I'm thinking of groups, I'm looking at how many whole pictures do I see? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, I'm looking at four groups. So in this case, like I said, looking at four groups. And then I'm going to count how many flowers are in each, because that's how many objects that are inside the group. So I'm going to just look at the flowers only. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 objects in each group. Now, if I don't know the basic fact of 4 times 5, there are many ways that I can figure this out. I can do repeated addition, which means that I would have 4 groups of 5, which would be 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Now, in this case also, I could just count by my ones and just count all the flowers that I see to get the answer as well. But in this particular problem, I could do 5 plus 5, which we learned how to count by our fives when we were in first and second grade. So I could do 5, 10, 15, 20, and my answer would be 20 in this particular problem. But I think we need to clarify what grouping means, because what we were doing in our problem of the day yesterday, a lot of you reverse those. So our number of groups is how many of the whole picture do I see? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 again. And then I'm going to count the objects within that picture. So again, I want you to look at this picture. Think about what you're seeing. Go ahead and pause your video so you can gather your ideas together. And I'm sure that most of you are seeing, again, how many groups. We're looking at the whole picture. So I see one group, two groups, three groups, four groups, five groups. And then I'm going to be looking at how many items are in each group. So in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, my problem switches around as opposed to the other problem that we just did. I'm going to have 5 groups this time of 4. Now, I also want to clarify too, when we're thinking about writing these as repeated addition sentences, this is telling me how many times I'm going to see this number added. So I would have a repeated addition sentence that looks something like this. So I know that I'm going to see 4. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to see 4 5 times in my addition sentence. So I should see 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 to get my 5 groups of 4. And again, here the answer is going to be 20. And I would skip count as well for me here if I know how to skip count by 4s. Or I could just count the total number of people by counting by 1s if I don't know what the basic fact of 5 times 4 is. We're going to do one more problem. And in this particular problem, we're talking about donuts. And I don't know who wouldn't like donuts. In the response box on the lesson turn-in page, I want you to respond whether or not you like donuts. But in this particular problem, we're looking at the donuts and how many groups that we have and how many donuts are in each group to find out the total number of donuts. So in this picture, I want you to make the observation as to how many groups you have and how many objects are in each group. So in this particular problem, I am seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. And I would use a repeated addition sentence here to represent my total number of groups by saying that I'm going to see 5 groups of 6s. So 6 is what's going to be repeated in this sentence. So I'm going to have 6, plus 6. Not sure why it went all the way down there. 6 plus 6 plus. So I have 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 6s. So 6 is what's being repeated in my sentence. So we have to be very careful with that because again, I noticed in our problem of the day yesterday, a lot of you were not writing a repeated addition sentence, and then some of you that did write them wrote the number of groups repeated rather than the number of objects repeated. So if we're actually representing this problem, we would want to write 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 because it's the objects that are being repeated. So in this particular problem, we have 30 donuts because 5 times 6 equals 30. Okay, so for today, for your lesson work, you're going to be doing the problem of the day and then also a slideshow that you're going to be completing problems. You're going to be able to drag and drop some items today to make equal groups, and then you're going to be writing a multiplication sentence based on how many groups you have and how many objects you have. I hope everybody has a great day. Get your work finished and enjoy the day. It's supposed to be a nice day again outside, so enjoy your day. See you all later.